Puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing Underdog and PrizePicks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Boogie setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the bros. Only withdraw, never reload. Renovated them out, amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when the fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, they can't be good for my health. Some may call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks. Population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now. Let the games begin.
Unbelievable. Just perfect. He did it.
It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
We are live. What's up, pimp?
What up? We are halfway to the week here. Got a big slate, man. Another big slate.
Huge. Pause. 11 games. Woo-wee.
But, we're gathering more data, watching the games, as many games as I can, so things just going to keep rolling in. I think feeling decent about the slate. But yeah, let's just do a quick recap of how the season's going so far. So I think, MVP, I haven't looked at the odds, but it's got to be AD right now. The way they're using him. Wow, he's still only plus 1,500.
That's because everyone knows the injury's coming.
Yeah. SGA's leading the way.
Where's Ant? Oh, he's 5th. Tatum, Ant. That makes sense. Jokic.
Yeah, if AD can stay healthy with the way JJ Redick was using him, and
yeah, that's crazy.
He looks like the old AD in the Pelicans. But 6th man, it's how about my boy Buddy Hield? Am I calling that? How's
pretty good so far, especially with Steph out yesterday.
What's
now,
Monk?
You sent me AD under points yesterday. Are you still on that?
I'm still on it, man. We'll go over that when we get to that game. But there's 2 reasons. One, it's the Cavs' defense in the paint. They're allowing their top 3 and least points scored near the rim. Majority of AD's points come near the rim, obviously, and then it's LeBron back in Cleveland, and we know how he gets up for those games. I'm hoping AD just lets LeBron do his thing, and his shot volume goes down, and then it's a little bit harder for him to score. With Mobley probably coming over and with help defense, you probably see Mobley coming over and trapping him a lot with Jared Allen. So it's gonna be tough sledding, man. I mean, he's dropped over 30. At least 30 every game so far. And if there was a game to come down to earth, it would be this game. So,
right, that makes sense.
Two things working against them: defense and LeBron being back in Cleveland. They still got Monk up here. Monk has been playing horrible.
Monk.
Payne Pritchard, he's a fan favorite right now. He's just shooting really efficient in limited time, but we know how that can go for any bench guy. They can just, with the limited minutes, if they just shoot well below their average, they're going to finish with less than 5 points probably. So I'm not touching that, but we'll get to that. All right, Hawks at Wizards. Do we have any? This game has a lot of, or not a lot, but I guess just main thing injury news is DeAndre Hunter. So pretty much all these Hawks guys are out. No news on Hunter yet. But yeah, now Dyson Daniels is out, in addition to Bogdan already being out. And Dyson was playing big minutes. I mean, that last game played 36 minutes in the same matchup. So if he's out and DeAndre Hunter's out, then they're gonna and Vit's out too. Vit was playing some key minutes off the bench, subbing in for Dyson.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been Vit if Vit was playing, but Vit got injured. It would have been Vit probably to take Dyson's role, but now that Vit's out too, I doubt they start Matthews at his age and he's just a spot shooter. I think they're going to have to start Roddy, David Roddy. So he filled up the stat line in limited minutes in 19 minutes in that same matchup. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, steal, block, and 9 points. So if you're playing DFS, I think he's a good option at a low price. But we'll see what the starting lineup is. We'll see if Hunter's out. If Hunter's in, then Hunter is definitely going to chuck with all these guys out, because being a rookie with Zachariah, like, he's just so up and down the shooting. You see he shot really poor in the field, 1 of 8, and he had 5 fouls. But if he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going to have to play hefty minutes here. I got him projected for 32 minutes with all those guys being out. But the main thing is, can he stay out of foul trouble? You know, just being a rookie, making rookie mistakes. And then Trae Young went off with the assists in fantasy, right? So he had 13 assists. Let's see how many potentials he had in that game. He had to have 20. 19. 13 assists. He just shot. He started the game off hot, and then he just shot really bad. And that's what's going to happen with guys like Trae Young, shooters. He could easily turn around and shoot above average and go off for 30 points today, and I would not be surprised. Just that's how it is with guys like him. And if you look at the matchup here, just looking at these new charts here.
Yeah, how you
So
liking
here's
that?
showing
You liking that?
it helps organize things. I mean, it's nice having the shot chart here. So this is showing how the defense ranks, where
That's cool. That's
where the
dope.
shots taken.
Yeah.
So the higher the rank, the worse it is. So green means it's a good matchup. So they're 26th against 3-point shooting, and majority of Trae's points are obviously come from 3 ball, 46% of his threes, and then the rest are free throws. And it actually shows free throws stats, which is going to be helpful once we have free throw props.
Mm-hmm.
We probably get those mid quarter to midway through the season. But yeah, they rank 26 in free throws allowed, so they're definitely allowing a lot of free throws. Trae had 8 free throws? Went 8 of 9. Makes sense. So they're about average on pick and roll defense. Transition, they're bottom tier, and then they're bottom in 3-point shooting. Interestingly, they're almost dead last in the wing threes here on this side. So that's a boost for guys like DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter, is a wing 3-point shooter. So, and then Garrison Matthews as well. I'm really interested in Garrison Matthews. Whether Hunter plays or not, he's still going to play solid minutes at the bench. I would look out for his 3-point prop. I mean, that's all his shooting comes from. I mean, because look, he took 10 field goal attempts last game, 24 minutes, and 9 of those field goal attempts were threes, and he went 4 of 9. I mean, that's his specialty, right? 3-point shooting. So if we can get it at 2.5, man, that would be definitely something of interest because he's gonna probably take, I imagine, 8+ threes.
DJ's ruled out.
McCollum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't look right yesterday. Let's see what Trey's 3-point prop. 2.5. That's not bad. I mean, we just looked at the chart, right? Now, I know, I mean, he shot
Herb Jones ruled out.
2 of 10. He took 10 threes. Oh, yeah, Herb got injured yesterday. His shoulder. He took 10 threes. Still, I mean, he made 2 of them. I imagine with his defense, that's got to go up. Shot volume should go up, especially if Hunter's out. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, it looks like the juice is pretty heavy, but in the books, if you take it, you find a good price on it. DK looks like it's the best price, -166. For the over on that for Trey. Yeah, I can see him knocking him down today. Given the matchup here. And then obviously his assists are back in play. Especially with Dyson out too. Dyson was accounting for playmaking here, so in some of the games he was averaging quite a bit of everything here. I've got 2 assists. Or some games, yeah, 2, 4, 2. Somewhat of a playmaking. I mean, I guess Roddy can pick if Roddy starts, can play make, but yeah, it's gonna be all Trey, man. But his assist line is high. It's what, 11.5? That's high. I'm thinking about altering it as a parlay piece. If you want to build, I think today's a good day to build like some bankroller alt line, like 4 to 5 leg parlays, just given the size of the slate, and just giving us more options and just alting.
Flip us up.
I think if you alt it to 9.5, it's pretty reasonable. Let's take a look. Oh, it went up. It was like -250 last night, so it's -340 at 9.5. It's not the best value, right? I mean, asking for 10 assists and -340. I mean, he should get it, but yeah, I guess it just depends what kind of parlay you're building, how many legs you have. But let's see what his 3-point prop is on Fliff. See, I would almost, alt the threes instead. Pay a little bit of juice, but it's -190. Yeah. I mean, head to head, it's a different team, but let's just see on his threes. And this is at Washington, right? So okay. He actually shot better on the road from 3 last year. 5-4-2. Yeah. Let's look at his points. I think if you're worried that he hooks the threes again, I think he can get it. I would say if Hunter's out, I mean, the volume is going to be crazy high for him. So he could get the points for sure. We might alt that as well. Let's look at the prices on Fliff. It's just always scary relying on Trey because you saw last game. He's either going nuclear from 3 or 2 of 10. So how do you guys feel about good old Trey? 19.5 is minus 890. I mean, it's not a bad parlay filler, but I would say the 9.5 assists or the 19 points. I'll feel pretty good about. If Hunter's in, then I feel probably better about the assist prop. If Hunter's out, then I feel even better about the points. But let's look at the PA real quick. I know it's juice. Is it 39.5? I imagine. Yeah, 39.5. 29.5. Yeah, that's not worth it. Okay. So it seems like the best value is in the assists at 9.5 minus 340 if Hunter plays. So we will jot that down. And then Jalen Johnson, anyone off? We called that. We can go right back to it. I mean, the only thing that has me kind of worried, because I know his line's going to be juice after that performance in the same matchup and all the guys being out. Is the Kongwu's back. And then we saw, not only is the Kongwu back, but we saw Nance make his debut on this team, and he played really solid minutes, 23 minutes, backing up Capella, and he played well. I mean, 3 of 5 from 3, 15 points, 3 stocks. Now, with the Kongwu back, what's going to happen here? Like, is the Kongwu going to go back to playing his normal minutes, and then Nance and Capella split the backup, the other minutes, or do all three just split evenly? It's hard to say. I think they trade Nance by the trade deadline or Capella. Like, they don't need all three of these guys, obviously. So it seems like they favor Kongwu the most. Yeah, that front court's tricky, man. I might have to listen in to some Hawks beat writers or read some stuff from them, because I don't know what to expect now with Nance in the mix and the Kongwu backs. It makes me a little hesitant taking any front court props. I mean, Capella got his first half fantasy the last meeting, but Kongwu was out. I think his minutes got to decrease significantly here for Capella. What are the props for front court? 28 fantasy is pretty high. I mean, he didn't even get that with Okongwu out and him playing. Pretty sure that was season high minutes. Was it 25? Close to 26, right? Let's see. Yeah, season high minutes because Okongwu was out. Picked up like 3 to 4 extra minutes. So he should, at minimum, go back down to 22, if not 20. But if we think Nance gets run, or what they could do is if Hunter's out, do they start Nance alongside Capella or Kongwu? But that kind of wouldn't make sense. I guess, I mean, sometimes the Pelicans will run Nance with J-Val, but very rare. Yeah, so starting lineup's key. If Nance is not starting alongside Capella, then I would suggest Capella's probably going to lose on some minutes. They're going to probably rotate Nance whenever Kongwu checks out. Yeah. I think you can consider unders here on Capella. Let's put him at 20 minutes. That puts him at 22.8 fantasy. Let's get his updated fantasy point per minute. What do you guys think? 1.13 didn't change much. Actually went down a little bit. So put him at 22 minutes, which he's played the most consistent. Still at 24 fantasy. His fantasy was 31 last meeting in the same matchup with Kongu out, so it only went down 3. I'm just debating the PRA or the fantasy, because he can get steals for sure, and then obviously blocks. He barely went over the PRA by 1. Let's look at last season real quick. I'm going to look at the minutes. Let's put him at 18 to... Let's put him 20 to 20. So if we put him at that 20 to 22 range, which is being generous, that's like if Nance doesn't play any minutes. It's a 4 out of 14 hit rate last season for that PRA. He averaged 19 PRA when he played that many minutes. But if we put him to 24, 8 out of 22. Yeah, man, thinking either PRA or fantasy. But I first want to confirm after we get upstream just what the beat writers are feeling on what they're going to do with Larry Nance. How you feel about that underrated?
I don't know. I don't like betting on Clint Capella.
I don't either. It's always a sweat when we take his unders, but it usually works out for us if we project his minutes right. Remember last season?
That's true.
Last season he was getting phased out in the second half, and that's definitely the case this season because Okongwu was closing over him. Definitely second half if you can get second half, or now that PrizePicks is offering live betting. Let's say he comes out hot in the first quarter, because he's going to get his normal first quarter run, right? He's going to play 5-6 minutes the first quarter. If he comes out hot, let's say he gets 2 to 3 buckets and some rebounds. Once they jack up that live PRA or points, then I think you could take the under, because if we look, you see he's playing most of his minutes in the first half, right? He's playing about 12 minutes, and then he's playing about 9 minutes in the second half, because he's not closing. It's a Conway closing.
I love that kind of stuff. You sold me with that. I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah, see, Kongu checks in for him around the 6-minute mark, and that was the case last year too. Checks in around the 6-minute mark, so he's going to play. He's probably going to open the fourth quarter, and he's going to play about probably 5.5 minutes. Yeah, probably about 5.5 minutes, and then he's playing his normal 6 to 7 in the third.
Are they going to be dumb enough? I mean, actually, what's the percentage Okongwu does close? High up there, even back off injury?
Yeah, I mean, his injury wasn't serious, right? It was kind of like a planned maintenance thing. They knew.
I mean, if he's really going to close and they're going to give us normal second half props and even live props, even closer to the fourth quarter, that's craziness. Those live props are really going to help.
Yeah, especially for guys like Capella. It's kind of like J Val for the Pelicans last year.
Right.
Okay, I like that a lot, man. I'm surprised his fantasy was that high when I looked at it. Yeah. If what's going on here? Okay. I hate this new format, by the way.
Mhm.
Jalen, man, his props are all juice, right? Because like his PRA is normally 31.5. His points are normally 17.5. His fantasy is 42. I can't do it. Remember we played we liked his fantasy at 38.5. Same matchup. But Okongwu was out, but now Okongwu is back. Um, yeah. Okongwu just really affects him when they're on the court together. Because did he get minutes at the 5? Or was it all Nance when Capella was out? It was all Nance. Okay. I'm gonna add. Oh yeah, I forgot I started here. A 3-point made. Look out for that. Hopefully it's 2.5. Um, Clint under. Okay. Anything else from this? Roddy. We can look out for his props. For him, he's just filling the stat sheet. Bench players, since they can't really project the minutes, you probably won't get his fantasy. But I would look out for it. Since they're probably not gonna get it, I would look to see if we get his RA. Because when he was out there, he was rebounding. He had a couple assists. So if it's a low line, I don't want to just rely on his rebounding. I'll consider it. Okay, Wizards side. Sorry, I'm spending a lot of time on this game because I think it has the most potential for overs here with guys being in and out. And it's one of the highest totals because, yeah, two bad defenses, right? Kuzma went off in this game, right? He started slow like he normally does. And then he went 5 of 9 from 3. 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. It's crazy. Even with him doing that, Poole still had a good game. 26 points, 5 assists, still had 5. He went 6 of 8 from 3. So, man, the Hawks' 3-point defense continues to be bad. It was horrible last season. Let's confirm. Let's look at the shot chart here for Poole. They're ranked pretty much last in 3 points allowed. They're almost last in pick and roll defense on the ball handler. And let's see, 38% of Poole's points come from pick and roll action. So the other points majority of the other points come in transition because he's usually pushing the pace pretty fast. But surprisingly, the Hawks are top 5 in that category. But last year they were bottom 10. I remember in transition defense. So maybe that number is a little bit skewed. But definitely good for him in the pick and roll scoring, and then obviously scoring from the 3-ball as well. As 65% of his points are coming from the 3-ball, and then the rest, from driving layups or free throws. Great spot for him. Interestingly, his points went down. He opened at 24.5, and now he's down to 23.5. I don't know if that was just the market driving it on the public, or was there any news? I didn't see anything. So, what is his 3-point prop? 3.5. I'd probably just alt his points too, man. Because he's just like Trey. He's such a streaky shooter. If you want to play him, the volume is going to be crazy high with Kuzma out. Let's just look at that real quick. I want to see how much, because their minutes I imagine stagger somewhat a little bit. Just a little bit. So there's not going to be much data. So this season, Poole has a 24% usage and Kuzma at 27. When they're playing together, but let's take Kuzma off the court. It's gonna be a real small sample size. 10 minutes. I can't take anything away from that. But this is the kind of data that I love to have as the season goes on, and when guys get rolled out and we have more sample size and minutes to go off of, because that really helps projections. Yeah, I mean, Kispert's gonna have to play more of a role here and off the bench and shoot more probably. He'll get an uptick, as you can see, in usage with Kuzma out. Right now I have Sar and J-Val starting together with Kuzma being out. Because that's what they rolled with starting lineup last meeting. But then for Kuzma, I think it'll be Carrington, who's a rookie, but he's looked really bad, really, really bad. So I doubt they put Kispert. I mean, they should put Kispert in there because they need shooting. Because with this lineup, it's only Poole that has really outside shot here. But maybe they want to keep Kispert running the second unit because they need some second unit shooter out there on the court. Or they just stagger Kispert and Poole minutes, and Kispert pretty much, even if he comes off the bench, probably plays starter minutes. Do we have props for him? We don't. Not yet. So I would look out for him. He can rack up RA when given more run too. And he could definitely fill up that category with Kuzma out. So if his PRA is pretty low line, I would consider it. Yeah, the shot volume is going to be crazy high for Poole, but it's Poole, so you know you're getting yourself into it, right? I wish his fantasy was a little lower because, I mean, he's been very active on defense and getting steal. But 41 fantasy for Poole is... Whew. I should probably put his minutes up here. Let's put him at 30. It still puts him at, plays his average. And that average 1.3 per minute is with Kuzma on the playing, so I think that's going to go up a little bit. We just don't have the sample size to see what it goes to. But even that puts him at 45 fantasy. Yeah. I would say alt his points, or maybe take his, if you want to take his fantasy and hoping you can pick up the stocks here. What are his stock prop sign? Is it 1.5? Juice on the over, minus 185 for 1.5. Yeah, you should rack up the assists too, which is gonna rack up fantasy. And then the only thing is the turnovers, which will probably have 3 to 4. Yeah, he's at 2.5 minus 175. I would say he probably has 3 minimum. Yeah. Let's look at quickly. Let's look at his alt lines. I think they had him at, I bet it's 17.5. What's the fantasy on Underdog underrated?
Let's see.
Yeah, I would feel better about the alt line at minus 480 for the 17 as a 17 at points as a parlay builder.
40.35.
That's an interesting line.
Very.
Okay. I think if you want to consider his fantasy, I would make sure that let's see what if Kispert actually continues to come off the bench. I feel pretty good about that. What do you guys think? Do you think the Wizards, I mean, being at home should help them a little bit, but the Hawks are beat up too, and thin, but they do have a Kongwu back. Front court is fully healthy, and the Wizards don't have Kuzma, which is, on any other team, not a big deal, but for the Wizards, a big deal. Do you think the Wizards keep it close here? It's 4-point spread. So. Seems like Pool's been most effective or efficient in the first half. Scoring majority of his points in the fantasy in the first half. He's first half play. Wow, they're not giving it to us. Oh, they are. 20. And that's right on the dot. All right. Let's Okay. I got nothing else from this game, man. Like I said, I would look out for. I mean, Kalabali, solid play on FanDuel maybe, or DraftKings or DFS. But if anything, I would just want his fantasy, and it looks like PrizePicks give us 28.5. It's pretty high for him. I got him projected for 26. So I'm good on that, and I never played J-Val. And Star is, Star. So that's it for that one. Let me know if you guys got anything else before we move on to this fun game.
This fun game.
I didn't have time to update the Sixers here, but it's pretty straightforward. Maxi's taking 30 shots a game. Hefty 216 total, man. 3.5 point spread. Look at that total. It's disgusting. Maxi. Look at the matchup. Seems like Detroit's pretty average on everything. They're actually holding it down in the paint. But that could just be the function of the teams they've played since it's a small sample size. But yeah, they're average on pretty much everything, or a little bit below average. Gets pick and roll. ISO. Good spot. You got to take his matchup last year, grain of salt here, because Embiid always went off against the Pistons last year. And it took like 1 million free throws, dominated the usage. So Maxey didn't have to do too much in those games. I mean, he's going to have all the shot volume in the world, but I don't know if I would have paid that 29.5 price. I mean, he's taken in his 3 games, 32, 23, and 31 shots. And the minutes are crazy. I mean, he took 32 shots, but that game did go to overtime. Played 48 minutes, which is crazy. But yeah, the minutes and shot volume. Whew. He's just not shooting that well, right? He's shooting 23% from 3, 34% from the field. Like that Pacers game, I was watching it. He struggled big time in the first half. He had 7 points going into halftime, and then he finished with 45. I mean, majority of his, besides this game, a lot of his points are coming from the free throw, and we know Detroit likes to foul, and they still are. They're ranked 29th, so I wish we had a free throw prop. I would play it for sure, because Detroit and Pacers, those were like the top teams we always targeted free throws against. But yeah, I'm probably gonna stay away from Maxey. But let me know if you guys think or like anything for him. I don't like anything else on Philly. Obviously, with Maxey taking that much, eating up that much shot volume. I mean, Oubre has been scoring at least 20 points, but definitely don't rely on him for overs. But look at this. I mean, he has 40% usage in this game for Maxey. 33. He's just dominating it. 35. I mean, but Oubre in some games is like right behind him, not too far behind. So I would just stay away from all the other Philly guys. It is a revenge game for Tobias Harris going for that. I don't know why I put Tobias here. I was thinking of last year. But yeah, back in Philly. I mean, it's not like he played that long in Philly. He's looked awful though. Maybe he's just trying to use his team, but I don't know. His rebounding, all of a sudden, he had spike rebounding games, but that's Tobias for you. He'll do that. He'll just have these random spike rebound games. He had 11 and 10 his last 2 games, but his scoring is very average. I think it's just a function of Cade and Ivy dominating the usage here. I mean, Cade is for sure dominating it. Cade is he's making a case for early on a most improved player here. Either him or Chet, man. Do we like him? Does he keep it going? What do you guys think? Let's look at the matchup. Majority of his points are coming on pick and roll, probably with Duren. The Sixers are averaging that. Other points are coming in isolation, and Sixers are 5th ranked on that. Interestingly, the Sixers holding it down in the mid-range game and 3-point shooting, which is kind of where Cade lives. Right? Let's see how he did. It's a completely different Sixers team though, so this means nothing. So I don't know. Maybe keeps it going. With him, I mean, he's just doing it all with the playmaking. He's picking up boards, so I mean, you just take his fantasy or PRA if you like him. He's sitting around anywhere from 12 to 15 potential assists, minus his Cleveland game. Let's see his rebound chances: 14, 5, 15, 16. A lot of that is probably a function of 3-point shooting, going against 3-point shooting teams like the Pacers, Celtics. So Cavs not so much. Sixers, besides Maxey and Oubre, I mean, I don't think they're probably shooting that many threes. Maybe his rebound chance to go back down to around 10 or less here. But when he does face 3-point shooting teams, it looks like his rebound chances is definitely go way up, and his rebounds too. So he's getting it done with the long rebounds.
Base the Wolves here. Base the Wolves said, "What up, fam? Hope y'all tailed Finney Smith first quarter and points yesterday."
Finney. like Philly, like bottom 10, 3-point attempt.
Big Ren's
Which makes
here.
sense, right? You got Drummond and then what's up, Big Ren? I know Big Ren always likes himself in Cade. I mean, his lines are getting up there now, so good matchup. I think Duren has probably the best matchup here. Obviously, his usage is going to be lower than Cade and Ivy, but Drummond's just been getting worked, man. I mean, Pirtle put him on skates. Pirtle had 19 points, 9 rebounds on him. It was Pirtle's best game of the season so far.
Put him on
Bottom
skate.
5 and points allowed near the basket. And if you look at Duren's shot volume, no surprise, 100% near the rim. So, yeah, Pirtle normally averages 12, and he dropped 19 on good old Drummond. And another thing is that when Drummond's not on the court, the Sixers are going super small with Yabu at the 5. So, with Tobias helping out.
Hey,
And down the
Quinn's here.
what up, Quinn? So,
Ren says Cade rebounds. He likes.
yeah, I was looking at that. What was going on? But one thing I would caution: small sample size, but it looked like his rebound chances are high against these 3-point shooting teams like the Celtics, Pacers. But then they played the Cavs, which are like bottom in 3-point shooting, and his rebound chances went down to 5 from 15. And we just looked, the Sixers are bottom 10 in 3-point attempts on the season. So, I don't know. Something to take into consideration. I mean, Maxi's going to jack threes. Uber some, but all the other guys, they're not going to shoot that many threes. Yabu will shoot a couple.
Ren says, I
Yeah.
think Cade's going to cook him. No resistance at the bucket.
There is no resistance at all. I mean, they're bottom 5 near the rim. They're about average in the paint. Duren should have a good game, but his line's too high. 12 is pretty high for him. I mean, if you want, I mean, a PRA you could consider here. Just got to keep his hands to himself against Drummond. Drummond's big body. But what I did is I like alting his points down to 7.5 on Fluff. It's a nice little parlay piece. He should get us 8 here. It's minus 525, so it's not a bad parlay, Phil. How do we feel about Duren, guys? So we like Cade, or it seems like chat likes Cade. He's looked good this season. As long as he can stay healthy, he's gonna do his thing. Philly's bottom 4 in terms of fantasy allowed to point guards. But a lot of that could just be the function of who they played. Because they played the Raptors and the Pacers. Is that right? Pacers? Yeah. And we know Halliburton, super inconsistent, takes a back seat. So that's probably driving that fantasy points allowed down. Yeah. I would say Cade or Duren here. Ivy, he could be such a streaky shooter, pretty inefficient. But he's looked well. He's looked pretty good too to start the season. He just turns the ball over a lot, which makes the fantasy a little bit scary. Watch Tobias Harris pop off, man. Maybe we don't know, but maybe he does hold something against the Sixers. But I will not play him. I wouldn't take the under though. I mean, because his lines are so low in this matchup. So the fantasy is pretty high. Shoot. But yeah, two average to below average defenses. But Vegas thinks the offenses are going to be worse than the defenses today. Cade had projected for 3 fantasy, and I think what was his fantasy? 41? $42. That's right on the dot. Yeah, I mean, if Brandon feel like his rebound, and you know he has playmaking ability and scoring, so just take his PRA then, I guess. How's it look in the books? Some places have it at 37.5. Get a little bit of discount here. Let's put on Flip. The Flip has it at 37.5 too. No value there. But yeah, you're getting a little discount on PrizePicks relative to other books if you like his PRA. So I'll jot that down. And I'll put honorable mention for his rebounds. Was it 4.5 for run here? I didn't even look at the actual line. I'm just guessing 4.5. Oh, I got bumped to 5. So I would take the 4.5. I feel like his rebounds. I would take it in the books. Yeah, it's minus 150 on FanDuel. All right, moving on. Unless you guys got anything else from this game, man.
Oh,
Should be an ugly.
Michael Gates got something for you. Oh, Kevin Gates. Kessler. He said, is Kessler playing tonight? It's a half joke, I think.
He's not even playing, right?
Nah. But he still likes him.
It.
Maybe tomorrow.
Kessler in spirit. Lakers at Cavs. Welcome home, LeBron. We know historically he gets up for these games back in Cleveland. D'Angelo Russell was questionable, but he's good to go. Reeves was probable, and now he's fully cleared, so full go for everyone. Normal unit. Kind of surprising Cavs 5-point favorites here with how good the Lakers have been playing defensively and on offense with AD, how he's been rolling. So Cavs are playing well though too, but maybe it's just them being home giving them the slight boost. But is it still 5-point spread, or is the public no? Still 5. Are we surprised by that, chat? I don't know, man. LeBron being back in Cleveland. Lakers on a roll. Cavs still undefeated. Is this their first loss? Let's take a look at LeBron. When he's in Cleveland. Always a popular play when he's there. Right? Okay, so last time you played them was last November. 22 points. And then year before that, 21 points, 17 rebounds. AD went off that game. Yeah, it just seems like with LeBron at his age, what you're gonna see is he's gonna flash and have these like spike games here and there when he wants to. This would be the game he would want to, and then a lot of games he's gonna take a back seat and chill, like we've seen in the few games they played, handful of games they played, right? So, it's just saving the tank. If you want to play that narrative, man, I would just take the fantasy because he's gonna be motivated to get rebounds and to get stocks. You saw in that last time he played in Cleveland last fall, he only put up 22 points, but he still managed to get 46 fantasy. I always just play LeBron's fantasy because he can just rack up. He just does it all. I was hoping it would be at 42.5, but 44.5 is a little steep. Let's put him at 36 minutes in a competitive game. So that's right on the dot. That puts him at about 45 fantasy. And then I think his points bumped from 22.5 to 23.5, and now it's back down to 22.5. So it seems like the bookies are setting the trap or setting out with the bait for the narrative there. And I'm sure the books are competing to get people to bet on their sites by lowering his lines relative to others. Let's see if it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, look at this. FanDuel's like, come play on our site. We'll put them at 21.5. Other sites 22.5. Caesars 23.5. This is exactly what I pictured. It's like gas stations, lowering the prices for customers here, knowing that LeBron's gonna be the most popular gas station today.
Ren says he loves his fantasy.
Yeah, I would go with the fantasy. I wouldn't mess with the points, man. The points just, I'm getting weird vibes from the bookies on that. And then like especially PrizePicks, scum of them all, like they dropped him back down to 22.5, and yeah. I would do his fantasy or something, rebound assist wise, yeah, because he should be motivated on the glass too. But he's old man now, man. It's not spring chicken here. 80. Oh, back to what we opened the stream with for those who missed it. I mean, given that it's LeBron back in Cleveland, but we saw in that last fall it didn't matter. AD still went off. I just think there is that possibility if LeBron catches fire from 3 or something that they just keep feeding him and let him do his thing in Cleveland. And then also just the matchup, man. And we'll look at that. In a second here. So look at AD. So yeah, he hit that spike game, 32 points, but then followed up 22 points in April. And I'm pretty sure, was LeBron out this game? No, he played. D'Lo went off. This is their normal lineup right here that they'll have today. I think the rebounds are definitely going to be there for AD with how much Jared Allen and Mobley are going to shoot in that little mid-range to near the rim. I mean, you see here you got 13. So I don't want to miss anything rebound related. So I'm thinking like either under the points or under the PA. But he could definitely get 4 to 5 assists here if he kicks it out. If he's getting doubled by Mobley and Jared Allen and he kicks it out. So I think the points are probably the best if you want under here. If you want to risk it. I just think he's due, man. Like he's not going to drop 30 every game, and this is the game on the road in Cleveland for him to come back down to earth, and then also always have the potential of him going to the locker room. Not that I want to hope for that or wish that upon him, but just there's always that chance, right? But he's looked great in start of the season. I think a lot of it is how JJ Redick is forcing the offense to him more so, and him just being motivated. Okay, so he did. I thought he finished with 30 on the dot against Phoenix, so he did go under 30 points against Phoenix. All these games, he started off really hot, and then he tends to die in the second half. So maybe live betting is the better way to go on his points, because I'm sure he's going to do his thing in the first half like he always does. And then once they jack up, I mean, they've been those live lines, they jack them up. The books jack them up so much. Maybe that's the better way to go. Get a much higher line. Because if you look, he scored 20 points in that recent game against Phoenix in the first half, and then he scored nine total in the second half. And it was a competitive game. And then, 14, 15, 12. Minnesota was the only one where he had a lot more points in the second half, but he's always been a first half player a lot of times.
Ren's excited. He said he found a LeBron prop, 1.5 blocks and steals.
Yeah, I saw that on there. If you're in the stocks, for sure. So I would say good correlation would be Anthony Davis. I would say the live point under after like the first quarter, because he pretty much plays the entire first, or the 26.5 point under. And then good correlation would be to play LeBron fantasy if you wanted, or like Brent said, if you're into stocks. I mean, I saw that in there. If he's motivated, playing solid defense like we know he can, you could get that. But just hate relying on stocks sometimes because of stat keepers. But yeah, not messing with anyone else. I mean, Rudy's playing huge minutes. Just getting it done. This is a tough matchup for him. And not only play Reeves or D'Lo when one of them are out, or LeBron. So, Cavs side. Let's look at the matchup. Oh wait, I just wanted to show. I'm gonna look at the data for the AD here against the Cavs. So 62% of his shot volume, no surprise, coming near the rim. Cavs are top 6 near the rim. Looks like they're mainly struggling in the mid range. 25th, bottom 5. But yeah, they're number 2 in pick and roll defense. Or 4 transition. They're about average on free throws, which we know AD will rack up free throws. They're 6th on isolation, which is bad for LeBron because when he goes ISO. And they're top 10 in putback, which is good against AD because it gets a lot of points from putback. You see 10% of his points. All right, so all the things that he mainly gets his points, Cavs are pretty good at stopping or limiting. It's going to be a sweat, but maybe that's why the live bet is better. Let the first quarter go. Let the lines get jacked up. Because if he has like a 10 point first quarter, his line, could go up to like 35, 36 and a half. 35 and a half easy. We saw that with Zion yesterday. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking the live more and more now. Now if he has a bad first half, then that's gonna really mess things up. Okay. Cavs, I haven't really been playing him in. Lakers defense has actually been pretty decent to start the season. But let's look at Donovan's matchup here. Looks like the Lakers are struggling. I looked at this last night. They're only struggling on transition defense. And Donovan's scoring a third of his points from transition. And they're about average in pick and roll. And then almost bottom 5 in isolation. But yeah, I mean, look, they're just average across the board, right? As of right now, as the season stands. I mean, across the entire court, half court. No major weaknesses in their defense. So Donovan struggled, I know, in his last 2 meetings against LeBron and Lakers. So, but he is at home. Is this one of the TNT games? I know. Is there 2 TNT tonight?
Ren doesn't care what you say. Ren says Donovan Mitchell night, baby.
He dropped 10 points in 38 minutes last meeting in April. 22 last November. And then 2 years ago, 43. I think this game where he was kind of coming back from that injury. It wasn't the same. I think so. Yeah, man. I mean, if the game goes, if you want to stack him and LeBron, it makes total sense. If you think the game stays close, like Vegas thinks, that's a stack I would do. But maybe his fantasy too. I don't know, because he can rack up the RA as well. His stocks, though, I mean, how is he even doing on the stock? He's at minus 140 for 1.5. He's getting he's either getting 4 or 0. It's kind of random. And Stiga's playmaking. He's averaging 7 on the dot potentials every game, so it's mediocre. Rebound potential. Ooh, he is not rebounding, is he? 6 chances, 8, 4, 9. Yeah, man. Maybe just straight up points, man. Maybe just straight up points if you want to stack him with LeBron. I never play Garland. I know he just came off that nuclear game, but I'm good, man. No Garland for me. Jared Allen. I took his. I was thinking about it last night. I was thinking about taking his PA under. It's okay. It's starting to move towards. Yeah, it's minus 130. If you look at his assist, like last year, he was getting random assists, but that was when Mobley was out. But look at his potentials: 0 potential, 1 potential, 3 potential, and 3. I mean, so I'm thinking he's gonna have like 1 to 2 potential assists, probably 1 assist. And his points are 14.5, but his PA is 17.5. Tough for match against AD. Focus on defense here. Like, could he get it done? Sure, but in 24 in that November game, played 37 minutes. Then he had 15 in that April game in 34 minutes. What do you guys think? Leave him alone? He's got a 50% hit rate on it this season so far, and favorable matchups against the Pistons and Wizards. So
Pass. Ren says Celtics Pacers on ESPN, Spurs OKC on ESPN.
Oh, I thought it was TNT. Okay, yeah, no, they do Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I would say it's mid-tier for the under. Some value. Let me just check. DK has it closed. I don't have it for FanDuel. Does PrizePicks still have it? Yeah, it's still up there. Mid-tier. But one thing I found interesting is he's crushed this first half point prop almost every game, and especially against the Lakers, which I thought was kind of interesting. 7.5. Quickly look at this and we'll move on. But he had 10, 13, 10, 13, the two times they played last season. And everyone was in. And then let's just look at his last like 30 games. He's cleared in every game this season. 9, 15, 12, 11. Like, what's going on? Like, when I saw this, I was like, because I haven't been watching Cavs games yet this season. But he's scoring all his points in the first half. Is he scoring in the second half? Like, hold on, let me see. Look at this discrepancy. He's scoring like half his points in the second half. Playing a lot less minutes. I mean, some of these could be blowout, but I'm pretty sure this game was close. Washington was a blowout, right? I mean, he's only playing like a 2 to 3 minutes less, but it's like half the points scored. I don't know, man. It's weird. I mean, this game was definitely a blowout against Toronto, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. See what you guys thought. I mean, it's consistent, right? I mean, at least in this season, he's soaring over that. And then if you take it back to last season, I mean, look at this. Mobley was back at the end of the season. He still has gone over the 7.5. Had to go all the way to beginning of April. 2 games he didn't get there. But then after that, it's just every game, every single game. Look at that. So 2 games out of 30 games we're looking at? He went under? Might be worth it. Maybe what I'll do is just take his over first half and under PA full game. Or live bet his under too after first half. Okay. That's it, guys. I'll put Donovan on here if you want a game stack. It'll probably just be the straight up points. I might just alt it 17.5 as an alt piece. Okay. You guys ready to move on? Next one?
Yes, sir. Ren said Pelicans teams all getting ruled out.
Design get rolled out?
I don't think Zion, but
I thought he'd be a prime candidate.
let's see.
Well, Herb is definitely done because he messed his shoulder up in the game second half, so I knew he would be out. It looked bad. While you look at that, let's quickly go on. Celtics at Pacers. We got the Eastern Conference final rematch here.
Just McCollum and Herb, and Hawkins' game time decision.
Yeah, McCollum was the only surprise back-to-back one because Herb got injured. Do we get a Halliburton Ant 2.0 here? Revenge? We saw it in the Western Conference final rematch yesterday. Ant shot ridiculous from 3. But can Hallie have it in him to do it? You know, I was looking at his first half points, 9.5. I was like, man, he's gone under this so much, and he's only gone over it once versus the Celtics last year, including the playoffs and regular season. But then I kind of slept on it. I woke up and I had a change of heart, and I was like, maybe this puts a spark in Hallie, and he's the kind of guy that needs a spark. And maybe he comes out just super aggressive in the first half. to get some revenge and make a statement here against the team that knocked him out last season. I could see him getting stocks and doing it and getting the first half fantasy. Now, am I going to bet on the over? No, but I'm not. I'm probably going to stay away from the unders now. But do know that he's only gone over at one time versus the Celtics. So, but what's his first half fantasy? I mean, he's just not been the same Halliburton except for last game. He's kind of showed glimpses. I don't know. It's just kind of a theory I have. I can see him coming out super aggressive. Kind of like what we saw Jordan Poole do against the Celtics, and where Poole had like all those points in stocks early in the game, in the first quarter. So he had 18.5 fantasy. That's pretty low for him. He's normally 20.5. Even sometimes we'll get up to 21.5, just because of his assists and stock potential. But let's take a look at how he's done on that in the first half versus the full one, or versus his points. Yeah, so last year you can see he went over at one time, and it was the last time they play each other in the regular season. But he went over the fantasy 2 out of the 4 regular season meetings. Let's look at the playoffs. Yeah, Hallie's just been a guy I'm staying away from unless I do an under, but it's a pretty low line for him. Matchup wise, it's really bad for him. Celtics are number 1 against spot up shooting, not allowing that many free throws. They're always like that. They don't foul much. They're average against pick and roll, which is what Hallie does a lot. They're average against transition. Now, here's the scary part for Hallie. Celtics are not giving up the 3 ball. They're top 4 in every spot on the court from the 3-point line. They're mainly just getting killed in the mid range, which kind of makes sense with no Porzingis, and yeah, and the side of the paint as well. Miles Turner is questionable. Is there any news on him? Does that will make a big difference for Hallie's usage as well? Do you want to go up that first half revenge narrative? I guess he's still questionable.
No news yet.
Yeah, so he eats up a lot of shot volume, right? So that could increase Hallie's shot volume as well. Neesmith usually gets up for these games against the Celtics, but that dude cannot stay out of foul trouble. And I only ever do unders with him, but he played for the Celtics, obviously, and then he's had some really good games against them, especially in Indiana. And they played them last season. We can just quickly look at that. Yeah, he's pretty much gone over that fantasy and every meeting. Like this game, I remember a lot. He had 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. There was another game last season when it was at the Pacers that he went off as well. But then, and that guy, he just can't stop fouling. But if Miles Turner's out, there's going to be usage to go around. Gosh, he's just doing nothing as usual in the first half, right? I'm only looking at first half because Celtics are so volatile if they get hot from 3. Yeah, Halliburton, he looked like he was somewhat normal stuff against the Magic. in his most recent game. So this is a typical Halliburton line, fantasy first half line that you see. Yeah, let's wait on the Turner news. I think it's in Siakam. He lives in that mid range, right? Or the Celtics are kind of giving it up, and then he's going to spin, and get to that paint. So if especially Miles Turner's out, he should pick up the scoring here. You just got to worry that the game go the full distance. It's only a 6-point spread. It's in Indy. It's now the highest total. It's on ESPN, as Ren pointed out.
Miles Turner out.
Miles Turner out. So all the lines are probably going to bump, especially for Siakam. I mean, he's 21.5 points. If you want to jump on it now.
AOD says, Josh, Mad Scientist, Undertaker, we love you. All D-Gens united as one.
All D-Gens united. Appreciate it, Io. First quarter, do we have it? We don't have it, do we? They took it down. Siakam always gets that 5.5, and especially if Miles Turner's out. Oh, that would have been a good one. I would just take Siakam's points here. With Turner out, his shot volume's going to go up. And they just removed them all. So, all right, we'll see what they come back out. But yeah, I think that's a huge boost to Siakam. Now I imagine we're going to get Isaiah Jackson, the foul king of the NBA, starting. So expect Tatum and Jaylen Brown to take about 10 free throws each. Should be a foul fest now. But yeah, that's a big boost in Siakam's points. We can quickly look at that from at least from last year, because it's pretty much the same team.
I was about to say, I wonder if I should go over here and play a little Siakam before they bump it.
I mean, it's spinning Siakam. It's never a comfortable click.
It's not. It's probably not that big of a...
Let's go back to last season. Whenever Miles was out. Okay, so let's look at the usage. Yeah, see, Miles Turner's usage rate was so high. 23. Siakam 25. Okay, let's take him off. I think its usage pretty much stays the same for Siakam. Isaiah Jackson will now be a popular DFS play. He was averaging about 1.13 fantasy whenever Turner was out off the court. And Celtics, they can definitely get him down low here. We won't get his fantasy on PrizePicks Underdog, I imagine, for Isaiah. But DFS, yeah, there's a lot of good center plays for DFS today. If you're playing it. Okay, let's see what the lines come back. They're all taken down. Tatum owns the Pacers. I mean, absolutely destroys them, right? I don't know what it is, man, but he gets up for these games. If you look at all the head-to-heads, including playoffs, he just crushed it. His line opened at 26.5, and now it's all the way up to 28.5. So the public really drove that one up. Last night, yeah, I posted. I mean, you could get on Flippy, it was like 26.5, like minus 120. So that was really good value. 20.5. Like, you always just have to worry about Jaylen Brown or Derek White, and now you got to worry about Peyton Pritchard catching fire, right? So I don't feel comfortable still taking Tatum unless Jaylen Brown was out. It's the only time I consider him. But the matchup is there, right? Let's look at the matchup. Every category that Tatum scores in, the Pacers are dead last, and that is probably due to good old Banchero dropping 50 recently against the Pacers. But yeah, they're last in isolation, fouling the most. No surprise, it's the Pacers, just like last year. Pick and roll last. Only thing they're holding down is spot up shooting, but that's from like probably in the corner. Last in post up. Putbacks, their bottom 5. Handoffs, screens, everything, man. It's bad all around. Everything that Tatum is good at. It's interesting. So the top 3 in 3-point defense so far.
DeAndre Hunter out.
All right, so we're going to get maybe Roddy starting. See what his lines are. Make it interesting. I think you want PRA. Okay. Or PR. Yeah, I'm staying away from the Celtics, guys. But I get it if you like Tatum because he destroys them historically. And it's on ESPN. So even more motivation for him. Raptors at Hornets. This one's interesting. Can't believe I'm saying that, but Raptors have a skeleton crew.
You're a Hornets fan now.
Huh?
You're a Hornets fan now.
Oh, no, never. The Raptors, man, they have no Scotty Barnes. Quickly still out. They're hurting. I mean, Scotty accounted for so much. He was carrying the team with Quickly out those last 2 games. Luckily, RJ Barrett's back. Played his first game. Played 30 minutes. Have you guys? Let me know. Has anyone seen anything like if he's on a minutes limit or anything like that? Since it's only his second game back. And did he only play 30 minutes because he was on a minutes limit, or is it because he picked up 5 fouls? He played 28. Is it because of early foul trouble? Early foul trouble. He picked up 3 fouls in 3 minutes. Come on, RJ.
They never come back good off that news, man. Get that social media going. You come back, your brain's all messed up.
Yep. No surprise he led in usage, and then Scotty right there with him at 30. So now all that Scotty usage is going to get spread out between these other secondary ancillary pieces, which are, in my opinion, dart throws. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Dick. And then...
Wow, I need a pause button.
And then Pirtle, great matchup. I probably like him the most. It's just... wait, why did Clint go away? Oh, because of they pull all the Hawks?
Oh, they throw it up there in the corner and let you know? That's cool.
They pulled all the Hawks. Yeah, okay. Pirtle I probably like the most in this matchup. It's the Hornets. They bleed rebounds. I mean, what Sangoon had 10 rebounds in the first 5 minutes of the game against them. Maybe that's why his rebounds are up to 10.5 now. Oh, his PR got bumped. That sucks. I mean, those one little bumps can really matter with lines like that. It was 23.5 last night. And his points got bumped too. Went from 12.5 to 13.5. So what I did, I mentioned the PR last night, and then I'm just gonna alt his points down to 9.5 on flip. And use it as a parlay piece. Feel pretty good about him getting 9.5 here, right? So against Big Nick.
Don't say it.
Alternatively, you can alt RJ Barrett's points down. So it's gone up big time. It was minus like 3, I want to say 350 or 320 or something like that. That's minus 400. But it's not a bad parlay builder. You're going to do like a large 5-leg. I try to get it, like with these parlay builders, try to get it around like plus 110, plus 120, and then it's just like a double up bankroll builder. And ones I feel the most confident in. And don't want to sweat out the juice lines. But yeah, I think you could have got RJ at a decent price at 17.5 points. Okay, his full game, all right, his regular line went down, so he opened at 22.5, and now Flip has him at 21.5. The 17.5 is not bad at minus 295, but I probably just like the 14.5, just in case he doesn't get full run or is rusty, since it's only his second game back. I mean, he did drop, 20 points? And it's the Hornets. But yeah, you can't, on Flip, you can't, you'd have to do a single game parlay if you want to play him and Pirtle. So I just like the Pirtle's value better at minus 400 for the 9.5. Don't let us down, Pirtle. Pirtle is notorious, man, for letting people down when he is in the prime limelight and like ultimate smash spot. I know he's gonna be popular in DFS today. He's at a good price tag. Man, how many times has he burned us in prime spots? Underrated.
He's one of those guys.
He is one of those guys. So, but I mean, a lot of time when he did burn us, it was because his like minutes got weird and rotation. But I mean, he's secure now with his minutes, and yeah, I think I don't think you have to worry about that. I just have to worry about him getting foul trouble or something weird like that, or it's one of these other secondary piece guys just randomly catching fire. But just quickly look at the matchup for him. Yeah, key thing to point out is their Hornets are 28th, so they're like third worst in pick and roll man defense, and Pirtle runs a lot of the pick and roll. I don't know how he's going to do it today, though, with like no Quickly, no Scotty. Does that mess up the chemistry and the flow of like the pick? Because pick and roll takes a lot of like reps between like a big and a guard and the ball handler. So I don't know. It's probably not going to be as fluid and nice. Yeah. But he's playing pretty pencil him in a close game, 35 points or 35 minutes. So take him up to 30. It's a good last season. Not good on the points, guys, at 13.5. Now, if we take it down to 9.5, feel much better at the 9.5 rate. but that 13.5, that is hefty for Pirtle. But if he plays more than 30 minutes, looks like he's getting the points in most matches. Interestingly, he played the Hornets 33 minutes last year, 12 points. But the PR. Oh, he hoped the PR. But everyone was playing then, right? Scotty quickly, I believe. So, what do you guys think? Trust Turtle? He's kind of the yo-yo, but tougher matchups, right? And against Cavs and T-Wolves here. But he got it done when better spots. Sixers and Nuggets. Is there a possibility that he gets run off the court? Like, are the Hornets going small a lot? Are they running Nick a lot of minutes? So, no, Nick's playing big minutes. Okay, that's good. Nick's playing, mid-30s. Okay.
You said Nick and big and held yourself back. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not going to roll the dice on any of these other secondary guys. They're low numbers, but, man, they could just do absolutely nothing, which a lot of them do. So I'm good. I mean, well, he has like these spike rebound games, but I was looking at last season and he's just so up and down with the rebounding. It seems pretty random, and his shooting is random too. Some games he'll play 30 minutes, take 2 shots, like in this Cavs game. In other games, he'll take 10 plus shots. So can't really trust him, man. I think you just play RJ's fantasy. It's kind of weird that it's that low, right? With all those guys out and playing Charlotte. It makes me think that they know something about his minutes. If you want to consider the fantasy, we need to look into any reports out there. If he's going to be... If there's any inclination or any idea or hint or suggestion that he's going to be on a minutes limit. And obviously you want to stay away. But he should do it all. He should get rebounds. He should play make. He should be the primary ball handler besides Davion. But let me see what he averaged fantasy-wise last year, and then we'll move on, man. Unless you guys got anything else on that exciting game. I mean, the Hornets, LaMelo is killing it, dominating the usage. A lot like Cade for his team, but he is pricey, man. $1.08.
News: Redick Lakers might make a tweak to the rotation today. Might.
What does that mean? Less minutes for D'Lo, more minutes for Gabe Vincent or Max Christie?
Possibly.
Or Redick's playing coach mind games here. Oh, you know what? You know what he could do? What if he starts his own version of Twin Towers and he starts Jackson Hayes and AD together to match the size of the Cavs
Cleveland.
Twin Towers?
I don't know. I'll tell you this, though. When's that game at? About an hour before
It's
that
the early
game.
one.
It's the early one?
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta open my sites up, get the props ready for that game. When that lineup comes out, get it ready.
Yeah, that means Rui would go to the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Something like that.
or just play less minutes, not play that crazy
Right.
minutes that he's been playing with 36, 38 minutes. If you want to go on a hunch and roll the dice, do it now and just take the Rui's under. Okay, so the fantasy it's somewhat on the dot, man. I got him. If he plays 34 minutes, I got him for 37. It's at 35 and a half. Okay. You guys like anything from the Hornets? If you do, shout it out. I mean, it should be a pretty easy matchup for the Hornets as well on both sides of the ball. But David Mitchell, he can hold it down when he wants to on defense against guards and ball handlers. So it's not like LaMelo has like a slam dunk matchup here. But it looks like the Raptors are fouling a lot. Struggling in isolation defense. Or, I mean, they're holding it down in isolation defense, but then they're struggling in pick and roll and fouling. So, and they're giving it up in the paint. But, yeah, I can't do Nick Richards. No Nick or Dick for me. All right.
Oh my gosh. Here, I got it.
Pause.
There you go.
All right. Knicks Heat, no thank you. Every year I cross that game off. It's the worst game for if you play DFS. It's the worst for prop betting. I'm just gonna pretend that game doesn't exist. But if there's anyone out there that likes something from that game, shout out. Or if you want to look into a prop or a player, you can definitely do it. But I'm good. That is one matchup I always cross off.
J. Cole says, pause.
Pause. Memphis. I'm hoping Josh sits because I want Pippen props and I think
Pippin, we love you. Lorenzo Robinson says, Purtle, the Turtle's about to nuke the slate today. He's having turtle feelings.
a lot of people are, man.
Turtle thoughts.
Wait, was there news on Ja because is Memphis gone?
I don't see any Ja news. I'm getting all the news popping up here, and I haven't seen any.
So they pulled all the Memphis players, and they just now we have that thing where the main questionable guy, they just put him on the board.
Anthony Davis points has been removed since you selected it. Weird.
Wait, did they really pull the Lakers because of that?
Yeah, probably. Silly guys.
Okay.
I have Rui under
just-
21.5 PRA sitting in my queue on Heritage ready.
PrizePicks is scared.
D'Angelo
Oh,
Russell
look at AD.
could be the one.
AD's
though,
going
too.
down. 20. He's down to 25.5 in some books now.
They're thinking he's playing too
All
much.
We'll see, man.
It'll be interesting, but it's so dumb how he said might. What kind of news is that? I might do
that's a-
something.
Typical coach shit, man.
Oh my gosh, I might.
We'll just wait, Mičić? Okay, Mičić was questionable. I thought he was doubtful, but now he's actually gonna play. So that kind of hurts Trey Mann. Although, I mean, it made it real nice if he was out for Trey Mann. But Trey Mann's lines have caught up to him now. Where were we? You guys want to talk about the Magic Bulls? That one is also gross in my opinion. One thing I noticed is this underrated. Is this you're good at identifying traps? Is this a trap, man? Like what's going on here?
There you go. Ayo?
Like, his last 3 games, his RA is 10, 11, 12. And I looked into it and, like, his rebounding has gone up for some reason. Because, his rebounding can be really weird. Like,
So you're
his line's usually, like, 2.5.
thinking it's a trap because it's low and it's sitting right in the middle of PrizePicks board.
Yeah.
Is it in the popular
'Cause look at
plays
his-
as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I noticed it last night before it was
Hmm.
even on the popular board, but I saw the little flame thing next to it. But this is the weird thing. His rebounding is way up. And the only thing different is, like, no DeRozan, right, on this team. But
Mhm.
DeRozan's not really a rebounder. So
No.
maybe it's just, like, the spacing and how it is. But, look, he's just converting at such a high rate. I mean, his rebound chances are so low, 7, 5. He's, like, 5 out of 5 chance, 5 out of 8. He had one game where he had more than 10 rebound chances against Memphis, but Memphis is the worst rebounding team right now. So he had 8 rebounds. I wouldn't expect that again. But then the assists, let's look at the potential. He's getting assists. He's averaging about 5 to 10 potentials.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say this about him: like, if you like this play, historically his rebounding is super volatile and weird. Like, oh yeah, look, his rebound is his normal 2.5 line from last year.
That's pretty interesting.
I mean, he just goes through these stretches, like 1 rebound, 2, 2, 2. I mean, it's just weird, man.
Those kind
some
of
of these
plays,
games,
if you're at 2.5, I see it's -175. Like, those are definitely those weird ones. Bookies don't know what to do with. So they're like, all right, if you're gonna go over 2.5, we're only gonna pay you this amount out for that.
Right. Well, let's put him at least 25 minutes. Or you know what? Let's put him at 20, 24, 28.
What I like to do with those is
Relax.
if you have the head-to-head stuff, and then you put them against the 2 worst rebounders you can find in an 11-game slate, and pray. Then he really only needs like 2, depending on who you can find. I mean, who's out there with props that have rebounds less than that? 1.5?
Yeah.
Where's the 1.5 guys at? There's a few.
Guys that are barely playing. But I mean, look, this is his RA. So I put him RA last year. Obviously, DeRozan, different team. DeRozan's on the team, but RA last year with him playing anywhere between 24 to 20 minutes, which is what he's been ranging this season. And he's only gone over that RA once against Memphis. I don't know, man. That's weird. Because Giddey's on the team, but Giddey's minutes, he's still not playing that many minutes. I guess Crusoe's also gone, but Crusoe didn't eat up that much RA. Maybe it's either one thing. It's like the bookies haven't caught up to it and adjusted his lines. Like, maybe his RA should be 7.5. Or these are just like outlier early games. And against the Magic, which is not the best game environment, because it's going to be massive pace down for the Bulls.
Right.
Maybe it comes back down to earth and he has like 4 RA. I mean, there's actually slight juice on the under at -120. So I just wanted to go over this because I saw it was picking up traction. I noticed it and it just looked weird. Like, whenever you see these weird props like this, man, I just stay away, in my opinion. I mean, you could risk it and it could pay off because, like I said, they just haven't adjusted his lines. He's playing a new role, but I don't know. There's a lot of guys that can eat up RA on this team, like Kobe White. We've seen him have massive RA games last season. Vooch, obviously, and Giddey, big time. Levine can even get it done. So, Patrick Williams is one guy who's not rebounding or scoring or doing much at all. Traditionally, in the past, his rebounds were way down.
Those weird, tall, non-rebounders are so weird, aren't they?
Yeah, rebounding, man. I just learned through the years. It's volatile, man. As a single bet, unless you have a head-to-head like you're saying, Or you alt it, like, because if you alt it and get a lower line and just know that they're gonna play this many minutes out there, you should get that lower line. But like,
Right.
if you're playing just a straight up normal line,
The way the ball bounces. So many
where the
variables.
ball bounces.
Yeah.
Um,
How many shots? How many threes are the Celtics gonna miss today or not miss? It's a huge factor. All
Yeah.
that.
or how many fouls? Because
Right.
if a
Right.
team fouled a ton, that just lowers the rebound chances dramatically.
Yeah.
Because they're probably going to make both free throws, and then if they do miss it, then it's going to be the center who's at the closest to the basket boxing out. So, yeah, it's volatile, man. I mean, a lot of props are. I mean, shooting is volatile as well because you're hoping the guy is going to shoot at his average percentage or above how the
Mhm.
ball lands in the basket. I'd rather just take chances on that, just based on volume, knowing a guy's going to have this
It
type
all-
of volume.
It all seems to come down to unders just hit more.
Under City. Speaking of that, man, I wish Bankero was playing someone other than the Bulls, because I would go to my golden rule, underrated.
Best play ever. Best game ever. About to be a
Under the
letdown
next-
today. Yeah.
Under the next game.
It's a great rule.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Bulls' defense is bad, right? And this is a massive pace up for the Magic, because the Bulls are right now running the fastest pace in the league. Their defense is awful. They're a lot like the Wizards last year, like I said. At least they're not giving up free throws, right? Early on in the season, which Bankero thrives off of. But their pick and roll defense is second to last. Transition defense is awful. Isolation's average. But look at that. I mean, 20% of Bankero's points is from the pick and roll action. So he might not come out like obviously like last game and drop 30 something, but maybe he's still feeling himself and gets over 25 and a half. I will say the Franz was sick that last game too and only played 10 minutes, and that was a big part of why Franz went off too, or just had that shot volume. So I think Franz is off the injury report. He's good to go. He checked out in the first half, played 10 minutes because he couldn't go anymore.
Poor
He was
Franz.
too sick.
Poor guy.
So Bankero just went stupid with the usage, 46% usage. So
ECW just said something really cool. He said Undertakers. And before I was like, oh, AO calls me Undertaker sometimes, and I'm thinking Undertaker from WWF. But
yeah,
Undertakers, you take the unders. Oh man, it's pretty dope, ECW, must say.
I like it. We should change that our new names in the stream.
Yeah, Undertakers.
Who wants to go under?
Me! I need a button for that as well. Me!
He's never cleared this line against the Bulls last year. Different team though.
I'm not touching Banco though. He can keep doing it. I'm not playing with him.
I know. It's just I might do it just out of my own principle and personal rule, but it's not.
That's a different.
It's not the matchup. It's not the matchup. But I will say, Franz being back healthy does help.
Hey, you know what? You could do what you would love doing if he does it again, or close to it, and then wait for the next matchup and really hit it.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy if he does it again. Suggs been racking up the fantasy, but I don't see him sustaining this shooting streak he's on. 5 of 13 from 3, 6 of 13 from 3. He's scoring over 20 points both games. Obviously, against the Pacers, Franz went out. So, but he's getting it done fantasy wise. I just never play him. I don't trust his shooting. It's a good up pace game for him. Wendell Carter revenge game back in Chicago. That kind of left on bad blood with that team. So, looked at his history. I mean, doesn't seem like he goes crazy or anything against them. He actually had some pretty average games. His typical Wendell games, 9 to 11 points. against them last year. So I never really touch the Magic unless Franz is playing the Wizards or Bankero or Franz are out. One of the two. And the Bulls, can Levine keep this up? Not the best matchup for him, right? Magic pace down, defense overall pretty good. Their 3-point defense is always pretty solid, top 7. But it's just the volume for Levine right now. Right, so consistent volume. I mean, in Memphis he took 22 shots, the most he took. He's just shooting really well from 3 right now. Can he sustain it? Probably not. But as of right now, he's shooting really well. 3. But I'm not going to take it against Magic. And then you got Vooch, another revenge narrative here. But I never played Vooch overs. It's not my cup of tea, man. But
Ren says it's a Franz night.
it's a good spot for Franz.
He called the Schroeder night yesterday again, and he called the Giddy rebounds the day before. I don't know, this Ren. He got Almanac, I think.
I thought we talked about Schroeder as a group. I don't remember that, but yeah.
I just remember him typing it in there. Something about Schroeder night or something. He's the man today, or he said something.
Yeah, it's just, as long as he's like not have any lingering effects from the illness. But this is a good spot for him for sure. Take his over and Bankero's under. Call it a day. But that game I have no interest in. Spurs Thunder. Trying to get through this quick because I want to get done in like next 10 minutes. It's the ESPN game. These were exciting last year, this matchup, because it was Chet, the rookie versus rookie Wemby. Chet struggled in a couple of the games. I remember watching it against Wemby. Yeah, I see his points. He had one good game at the Spurs.
Quickly out. Kind of knew that.
Yeah, the pick and roll they're struggling with Spurs, but their spot up defense is pretty good. They're not fouling. Off screen looks like he could get it done for sure. I mean, Chet's looked awesome, right? But yeah, Wemby. I remember Wemby blocking him a few times too. I mean, Wemby gave him the biz a bit last season, but Chet just looks different this year. So I wouldn't blame you for taking him. His RE is interesting at 11.5. I mean, he was racking up assists against Spurs last year, which makes sense because Spurs were bleeding assists last year. And it looks like this year they're struggling with pick and roll again. So I imagine on that pick and roll action, Chet can pick up some assists, and the rebounds should be there as well. Right, so he's crushing the RA this year, and it's mainly from the rebounds. I think Jalen Williams being out, the Jalen with the Y, helps, and then Hartenstein's out, so he's hitting the glass much harder this year. I like the 11.5 on PrizePicks, but now I think it's 12 flat, so probably stay away from that. But what's the fantasy for good old Chet? I'm sure it's juiced to the moon. 42 is not bad. How do you feel, guys? You want Chet fantasy, or do you think Wemby holds him down? Even that game that he only scored 17 and had less than 10 rebounds, he still got over the fantasy. So, if anything, now that the RA's bumped, I would just take the fantasy for him if you like him. All right, so. How do you guys feel about some Dort unders here? I'd have to. That sucks. He was at 10.5 points last night, and I was really liking that. But now he's down to 9. Terrible value. So never mind. That makes it easy. Anyone else we want to look at? I mean, SGA is obviously going to do his thing, but I will say the Spurs defense has been pretty solid on iso ball. I saw this last night, and that's SGA's thing. He's going to play isolation, and Spurs have been top 2 in isolation defense. So, and they're not really fouling that much, and SGA gets a lot of his points from free throws. So, with his high line, I'll probably just stay away. And then Jalen Williams, his fantasy is always in play. Does Sohan keep balling? I took his under at 14.5 points last night, and it's down at 13.5 now. I think he comes back down. I mean, he's playing the number 1 defense. Not a good matchup for him. I mean, he struggled mightily in 2 of the 3 games last season versus him. 28 minutes, 9 points. 24 minutes, 2 points. And I just don't see him sustaining this, like him going off. And a big reason he's going off is Wemby's just kind of taking a back seat so far this season, right? Does Wemby get up for ESPN game here against good old Chet? Imagine so. I call Sohan the Wemby killer because like whenever Sohan goes off, it just kills Wemby, and then vice versa when Wemby goes off, Sohan usually does nothing. So if you're thinking Wemby picks it up here,
Isaiah Jackson is starting. You are correct.
what's that?
Isaiah Jackson is making the start. You were correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking. Oh man, they bumped his PA last night was 18.5 too. I took that under. Now it's all the way down to 16.5. So they know. He's coming back down, guys. So on shit. And this is a get right spot for Wemby scoring wise. Although I will say, I would feel better about Wemby if he was at home. I mean, if you look at his home road splits last year, it's crazy. Like, I think a lot of it is just due to minutes too, though. Because I think he was playing more minutes at home, but for his points, 39% hit rate at home. And then on the road, it was 30%. And I think the PRA, the PRA, 24% on the road, 36.8 at home. So I think a lot of it's just minutes too. It's just I think last year he was just playing more minutes at home for the crowd. Pop was giving him more run. Chris Paul is like not scoring, except he had a spike game. I knew it was coming. 16 points. He's like, I'm tired of getting only 3 points, underrated. So he dropped 16.
Yes,
3 or 4.
I saw that. He was like, "Fuck you guys."
I mean, he's gonna just mainly shoot threes. At his age, he's not gonna drive to the bucket. So you're gonna have these spike games where he shoots well from 3, but most of the time it's not. Steph Castle is making a case for Rookie of the Year now that Edie's shown his true colors and how bad he is, and there's really no one else. I mean, Reed for the Rockets is not even playing. He's getting like 5-minute stints. Udoka's giving him. There's no one else. And Castle's look pretty good when he's given the opportunity, especially on defense. He's pretty solid on defense. So
D'Angelo Russell is available to play. That's not telling us much.
Yep.
LeBron is available to play. Okay.
That's all I got, guys, from the Spurs. I would say I would either go under Wemby or Sohan. One of them is going to go under in this matchup. It's a very tough matchup. Look at that. 58% of Sohan's points are coming from cuts to the basket. Yeah. OKC's not going to let that happen. And Wemby's over half of his points are coming from post-up shooting, and OKC is number 2 in post-up defense. And they're not fouling, which is kind of surprising because they usually foul a lot, but not so far.
Lakers will start D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and Davis. There's nothing new in there.
Maybe it's just the minute rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe Rui doesn't play the full 36, 38, and then they give Jackson Hayes. Okay,
let's get those live plays ready.
Yeah. Warriors. We're reading on news still on Wiggins the confirmation. I think he plays. I think that was they rested him on the front end of the back to back, but we'll see. I think he plays. He's looked good. If he's a full go, or you can consider his props, his points, or PR, or probably just fantasy if they give it to us. And then who I really want is I really want Lindy Waters. I think he starts today with how well he played last night. I mean, I like the kid. He looks good, man. He was buried in the bench of OKC because how deep OKC's team is, full of young talent. He's just super decisive on his shots, no hesitation, and he can hit the 3-ball at a high clip. And he was playing so well that he ended up starting in the second half. So he started the second half. I imagine he starts today as a result. So look out for his props. I would just take his PRA. Fantasy, if they give it, I doubt it, but his PRA or points, or even 3-point prop if we get it. But I really like him today. Again, same matchup. He's hungry. He's trying to earn a spot, paycheck. So Lindy Waters, look out for him.
Jonathan Isaac available to play. Whoop-de
I won't get those
whoop-de-whoop.
props to the lineups are released, and that game is what, the late game? That's the Island League, one of the Island League games. Yeah, so
Batadze ruled out.
Goga, Zubac. Can you believe his points are 17.5 unrated? Isn't that
Get off
insane?
him. Get off Zoo. He's been waiting for this moment.
Crazy. Zubac, 17.5 points. Thought I'd never see that day. I mean, the guy lived at 10.5 to 12.5 points.
And people were
12.5.
thinking that Plumlee was going to come in and take his spot or something. Nope. It's Big Zoo,
His
baby.
usage is crazy.
Big Zoo, baby.
I mean, it's a great spot for him against Ayton. Senators versus Blazers, right? But Manon.
Big Zoo.
His lines are high, guys. They're high. And the only concern I have is if the game goes sideways. It's in LA. Clippers have been playing really well. And it's the Blazers. Blazers can get blown out any moment. Majority of the time they do. So maybe you want to consider the first half, but it's tax. I looked at it. His first half points are 9. So you're paying on 1 extra point. Yeah. Harden, because of the risk of blowout, what I did is I altered his assist down to 7.5. He's been crushing the assist again. No Kawhi, no Paul George, no Westbrook. Great assist spot here for him. What does he have? 15, 18, 17 potentials. So that, altering it down to 7.5, that puts it right at that half of his assist line, half of his potential assists, which is what I like the conversion at. It wasn't too bad juice last night. Let's see how juice is now. When you catch that early value night before. I just don't want to take the full game because of the blowout risk. And it's a Wednesday, so Harden's a full go. Wednesday's his best day. Remember we look at the
Oh, yeah.
we look at the data because he's getting ready for Thirsty Thursday.
Right.
Or maybe it's Thursday. We'll have to go back and look. Where are you, Harden?
His name is James, and he's not there.
He's not here.
He's
They
not.
took it off the board. Cool.
Why?
I don't know. I got it last night though. So I don't know. He's 9.5, minus 140 on FanDuel. Yeah, I would just look for the 7.5 alt. I feel better about that. I mean, he could have 8 assists by halftime, but still get the 9.5 in a blowout in 3 quarters. But I just hate betting on 3 quarters. Those 2 extra assists can really matter.
Yeah, 9.5 with juice on the over. What'd you get?
Yeah, brother.
Is that what you got?
I took it at 7.5. Let's see, what did I get it at?
7.5.
Mine is 540. Yeah, I altered it down.
Gotcha.
Because potential blowout.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this one I built last night with this example. Harden 7.5 alt, Pirtle alt points, Duran alt at 7.5, and then I rotated in Poole's points, Tatum's alt line at 19.5. I just swapped those out, but used these kind of as a 3-leg parlay builder, and it ranged from anywhere from like plus 110 to plus 120. So you just double up your money as bankroll builder.
My favorite kind.
But yeah, Powell, you're just going to get 3-point shooting, and whether he's landing him or not. So, Blazers, let's just look real quick for those who are interested. They're average against 3-point shooting. They're just getting killed in the mid-range here. Second to last. Let's see how's Zubac. So they're top 3 in pick-and-roll defense, surprisingly so far this season, but it could just be who they played. But they are bottom 10 in points allowed near the basket. Yeah, Zubac, man, it's high lines, but it's a good matchup. What's his first half fantasy? I mean, he should get that. But the thing with him is, like, when you play him, you want the full game because he's playing so many minutes for Zubac. I mean, he's playing like 38 minutes, right? It's crazy for him. 19.5 fantasy. Remember we used to get him at 14.5?
Oh yeah.
It's great. It's crazy, guys. I don't know. He could do it though against Satan. He could definitely do it, but you can't have any hiccups, foul trouble, whatnot, or like this Suns game. I think he must have gotten foul trouble. He only played 12 minutes, but if he plays his normal 18 minutes, he's getting over that, right? 23 fantasy, 34 fantasy. Just don't foul. Yeah, I got a foul trouble. You got 2 fouls. Just don't foul Ayton. Let's see. How did he do against Ayton last year in the first half? He cleared it in every game but one. So 3 out of the 4. He only played 11 minutes. He had 0 points. Interesting. But he only played 11 minutes, so he even cleared it in 13 minutes. Oh, that was against Phoenix. Let's look at the Portland. Sorry. He had 13 minutes, 25 fantasy. He had 3 blocks, 15 minutes, 26, and now he's playing 18 normally? He's playing 18 consistently if he's not in foul trouble. And what is he averaging fantasy points per minute wise? It's got to be pretty high as a center. I just worry about blowout, guys. I mean, Clippers are due for a bad game because they've been playing every single game they've played so far this season has been surprisingly good, even against good teams. So, what we got? Underrated? Trying to hurry.
Go.
1.27. Not as high as I thought. Not as high as I thought. I thought it'd be like 1.30 something, but. What did I say? 1.27? I put him at 18-minute first half. Puts him at 22 fantasy, 22.8. So if he plays his normal 18 minutes and does his average, he just has to play average. His average lines. Get his average fantasy point per minute. You should get that fantasy. So I'll probably play that. The full game, I'm a little scared, guys. I'm a little scared. I would always be scared when it's the Blazers, and it's in LA too.
Don't be scared.
I mean, they got blown out by the Warriors by 35 points. What's this? I'm just gonna check his full game line, and then we'll call it a stream. Because we should get to the Discord and chop up some slips here. 39. So we're not getting taxed for the first half. That's not usually the case. For those who play DFS, I built this last night. I'm probably gonna change it based on the new news. But waiting on Jaws status, I like Pippen, Jaws out, and even with him coming off the bench, just the assist potential. If Jaws out, look out in the books for Pippen's assist line primary play, and then you can also consider the PA or PRA. I like Lenny Waters because I think he's going to start at 3,800, and then Kalabali is going to pick up more minutes. Kuzma do more. Kuzma out, and then let's see the Atlanta starting lineup with Hunter out. I think Roddy gets to start, man. So 4K, it's not bad. Showed you was getting stocks and RA, and then Jalen on the fence. I mean, he should get it done again, but just be wary of that crowded front court now of Atlanta. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good center options. I mean, Pirtle's real cheap at 6,800. I mean, Zubac's even only 7,200, which is crazy. It's cheaper than Bam and other guys, which I don't understand. So there's a lot of good center options on FanDuel. Try to do a few different lineups with different center options. A lot of these guys are only center eligible, like Zubac and Pirtle. And there's good value opening up with Isaiah Jackson and whatnot. So, yeah, gonna have to get different here on some of these. If you're playing large GPP, obviously, but that's gives you an idea on the DFS side of things. But back at it tomorrow. 4 games tomorrow. Should be much easier, right? I think did the best we could here. Yeah, 4 games. Anything else, guys? All right. Good luck. Catch you in Discord, Underrated?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
All right,
Later,
guys. Peace.